morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, everybody. A little bit gloomy here in New England. We've been this way now for about 5 or 6 days, but rumor has
5
it.
or 6 months.
No, it hasn't been that long. But it's been a winter, non-event winter. I mean, we've had no snow to speak of. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on.
We've had a couple decent storms.
Yeah, but minor. I mean, that's not snow.
Oh, the first one was a decent storm.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That was good. But it just doesn't seem. I hate seeing the ground brown, bare. You know what I mean? I'd rather see a nice layer of white snow over everything. Puts me in the mood. To look at it when it's just dull, it bothers me.
Okay, move to Maine and leave us alone. We don't need any snow.
I think snow is wonderful. It's good for your lawn. Yep. It's poor man's fertilizer.
Yep.
And I know Eszter. Eszter's a snow bunny, right, Eszter?
Oh, wait a second. I got to unmute her. There we go.
You weren't on with us.
I'm in Sicily. We're 60s, high 50s, and sunny and beautiful. What are you talking about? But I got to tell you, interestingly, usually, Mount Etna has snow on her around this period, January, February. Her hair is white. It was white for a while, and now a lot of the snow has melted, and a lot of the people up on Etna, where there's usually skiing and snow,
they're hurting.
They're hurting. But it's been a mild winter for us, which is good. Let's just hope it doesn't catch up on the other end when we have our tours and it starts raining and get cold. So I'm not complaining, though. February is a great month to be in Sicily.
Hey, everybody. Our guest once a month, and we call it our international show. And we couldn't have a better co-host than Eszter Vajda. She joins us, gives us all kinds of information about Sicily. And it's a pleasure, really, every week, once a month, to have you on with us. And I look forward to it. And I know Lou does, too.
I do.
Because, you're the rose among the thorns, really. I mean, when it comes right down to it. You were speaking about winter. In Sicily, what's the primary source for heat? What is it? Gas, propane, or regular gas, or
regular gas.
So you have natural gas.
We have a heater in every room, but mainly we have a air conditioner unit in the bedroom only.
Okay.
Because you can imagine, especially in the summer, if you have the whole house running, it's crazy. Which act as a heater too. So right now I have the heater off. The heater is not on in the house. And I have a light sweater on. It's comfortable. The thing about here is that we have concrete floors. So when it gets cold, it gets really cold, and the walls. And we've got the sea breeze coming. So it can get very, in your bones cold type of thing.
No, I get it. I've always wondered how people who can live in these castles,
right? Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, I look at like in Wales or some place like that.
It's so dank.
Where it's so cold.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, I'd be loaded with arthritis. I'd be bent over. I'd go from 6'2" to 4'2". I mean,
it struggles for sure when the temperature drops like that. And we've been lucky. It hasn't gone below like 45 even at night.
Oh, wow.
Not even below 45, like up over here. I mean, 50s, low 60s. It's just beautiful.
It sounds it. And like I said, the weather forecast going forward, oh my gosh, man, that looks absolutely freaking perfect. The best months, I'm sure some of our listeners have wondered, where you run tours and you really got the pulse of the island pretty down pat. What would you consider like top 3 months to visit Sicily, to enjoy everything?
That's really 3 months is too few, because you can starting in February. We usually have a Carnevale a Mardi Gras tour in February where it starts getting really nice during the day, still a little bit cool at night. There you go, put those beads on. And then we have March starts getting a little bit nice, very nice, Mike.
This is my Mardi Gras beads from New
And if
Orleans.
you don't go, I'm trying to look for my mask. And if you don't go up on the mountains, up on Etna and so forth, it gets really comfortable 50s, 60s. April's a great month. May's a great month. June's a great month. If you don't like heat, don't come in July and August. September, October are fantastic. So is November.
Yeah.
Really, and Christmas is fabulous. So I would always say to people, there's the one month that I would say, maybe don't come, including because the days are shorter. So if you're touring, you miss out on those hours, those critical hours, is January. That's it. Right now it's 5 o'clock here, 5:10, sun just going down. So, maybe if you're here during this period, in a couple of weeks, you'll have another hour of touring. So January, mid-February, end of February is a great time to start. And then, of course, March, April, May, June, July, August, and the rest of the fall months are very good. And the thing of it is, too, then if you come in February, there's so many things going on here.
Okay. Like,
For
instance,
we have Carnevale, Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday is on February 13th.
Yep.
So starting last weekend, they already had the floats up in Acciariale. They have all types of competitions. And we're talking about humongous handmade floats with different themes. And there's street foods and there's all kinds of music. So for instance, already this weekend, I saw the schedule for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, big concerts right in downtown Acciariale. People love that stuff, so it's perfect. And then, of course, leading up to Mardi Gras on February 13th, there'll be even more activities. Then we have the most important saint of Catania, San Agata, on February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Really, she comes out, the 4th is the most important day. And this is the third largest religious festival in the world. So you're attracting people from all over the world.
wow.
Literally all over the world. I want to say something about festivals because someone asked on our YouTube channel the other day, I was talking about festivals and they said, well, is it just like, is festival just like pomp and circumstance and people, just like going through the motions? No. Festivals here are filled with religious zeal, tradition, culture, handed down generation after generation. It's a big deal here.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it has to do with in Sicily. I think I read that the population that are Catholics, the percent of population is 96% Catholic. So I think the saints play an important role, just like here in the city of Lawrence, Massachusetts, when we take our three brothers out, it's quite a ceremony. And, last year was the 100th year, and that's something that started, in the Catania area, Via Grande and whatnot. Yeah. And, something, I love traditions. That's why it bothers me sometimes, Eszter, when I see some of these politicians, cave in a little bit and remove statues. Whether you agreed, don't agree, something, it happened. It's history. You learn by history. You don't try to hide it. And I mean, that's my opinion. But you talk about some of the festivals. I happen to be. We've gone to the Mardi Gras a couple of times, and that is one. I love New Orleans anyway. I think the food, Louis. I go freaking bananas.
Yeah.
But the Mardi Gras, the people, they just want to have a good time.
What's wrong with that?
Huh?
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Perfect.
But you were talking about floats, and Kearns makes most of the floats. It's a big, huge, massive. I think it's like 300,000, 350,000 square foot warehouse.
Mhm.
And it's right on the Mississippi River. And they start from the moment Mardi Gras ends this year, they start working on next year's floats. And
Lots of planning goes into that, of course.
oh, you have no idea. And to watch it come from a styrofoam form into what it becomes, it's crazy. I know Kearns they own outright 265 floats that they own,
Wow.
and something like 95 tractors. And once the floats are ready to be, because there's 7 different parades throughout Mardi Gras, because now the big floats are so big they can't even get down Bourbon Street. It's impossible.
Yeah.
But they line them up. They take them out of their warehouse and they drive them over to the convention center. Now, the convention center in New Orleans, Esther, I think it's 7 blocks long. 7.
Oh my
It's
God.
oh, you have no idea. But it's more than just a convention center. It's a huge music hall. They got a fantastic restaurant. But I mean, it's probably the biggest building I've ever seen. And what they do is, in the order that the floats are going to go in, that's how they pull them in. They give them their slot, and they line them up one after the other. It's amazing to see.
Same here in Acciaiuoli, where it's really, you go there and it's just, and you have to imagine that it's in the backdrop of a cathedral, of a basilica that's hundreds of years old. So you have this modern, beautiful, very colorful float with certain themes, and boom, right there is the basilica or the cathedral. And so it gives a very much of a mystic feel to it, to have this type, and you've got the modern music and so forth, and people dressing up in all types of of costumes and things like that. And it really becomes a party. And Mike, the other thing that we didn't talk about, that not only about religion, but a huge part of all these festivals of Sant' Agata, of Carnevale, are the foods. And these are foods that are only eaten at this period. So for instance, for Mardi Gras, there's a cookie type of a thing called chiacchiata, which means chit chat. And it's a deep fried sheet.
You got me already.
You
got me already. Deep fried, you got me already.
Very flaky, and they dip them either in chocolate, and I would usually have something to show you, but I don't. Dip it in chocolate or dip it in pistachio cream or just put powdered sugar. And so after Mardi Gras, done until next year, you will not see that dessert all year.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Now we have the festival of Sant' Agata, and for Sant' Agata, there's 2 or 3 cakes that are very important, including the cassata, and it's shaped like a boob. Cassata is actually a cake, but during Sant' Agata, they're shaped like a boob with a cherry on top.
Just like Sicily.
Just like Sicily. And it has ricotta and marzipan on it, so it's super sweet. And it's called Minuzzi di Sant' Agata, which is Sicilian for the breast of Sant' Agata, because when she was martyred, one of the things that the senator of Catania did is he cut off her breast. They miraculously grew back. So she's obviously patron saint of breast cancer, among many, many, many other things. And so you eat these sweets here during the festival, and also olivette de Sant' Agata with the olives shaped marzipan. So, but the fun thing about this is that, here in Catania, there's always cassata cake, but for other people, it's the only time they have it, right? Because during the festival. So then you wait a whole year, you can wait for the whole year to have it again. So it's really, really a fun thing to see these seasonal foods coming and going. And of course we have Easter, and then what comes for Easter? The Pandora, or the panettone.
I was going to say the panettone. I had one that was given to us by the Consul General's office here in Boston, and I haven't opened it yet. I looked at the
No,
expiration
you
dates.
you gotta eat it now. You're waiting too long.
You know, I
We
like
have-
I like eating it when I'm working in the yard and I can keep my weight down. Me in the wintertime, I'm like a freaking bear. You know what I mean?
It's not gonna last that long.
No.
Unless you take it, slice it, put it in a toaster oven.
Yeah,
Put
that's
some
what I
butter
was
on it.
planning on doing. But you got a few people that are saying hello to you. Two of our great listeners, Roger Trudell.
Roger.
He's doing fine. My significant other, Barbara Cody.
Hope you're feeling better, Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara's had a
Barbara.
bad cold, and so hasn't Esther. Esther and Al both had bad colds too. It's that time of year, and that's the way it goes.
I've been sick, Mike, since November of 2014. Excuse me, 2019.
Okay.
2019.
Okay, that sounds a little better. Yeah.
Wow.
Like literally the last time I was sick was November of 2019. Nothing.
Good
But
for you.
we're getting better. We're fine.
Yeah, that's all. That's what counts. That's the bottom line. You know, I want to get into a couple of things. One, I'd like just to mention before we take a break. When I was there on vacation once in the Catania area, there was, and I think it's relatively close to you. There was a festival, Lou. Imagine having this kind of a festival, and it was called the Pistachio Feast. The
Oh.
pistachio.
Yeah. That's in Bronte.
Yeah. That's
I'm
pretty
in.
close to where you are, right? That's not too far.
That's
Taormina.
every September.
Yeah.
See, that's the other beautiful thing here. They have festivals to celebrate foods. There's the Artichoke Festival. There's the Sardine Festival. There's the Pizza Festival. There's the Cannoli Festival. There's
Sign me up.
festival for a festival.
Well, listen, we're going to talk about, Italians look for any excuse to celebrate. You know that, especially Sicilians. So I'll tell you what, you know what we're going to celebrate? We're going to celebrate our sponsors right now. So bear with us. We'll be right back, everybody. Lou, take us to break.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and can never agree where to go. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with the great Italian cuisine, Capri's seaside Italian kitchen and pizzeria. Me? I love the elegant romantic vibe Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu, with prices that make it the place you want to visit each and every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of a cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Concert Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all of these great places, and they treat everyone like they are Mike Lamazzo. Best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all this fun is right at your fingertips. You can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef, offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverbeef.com.
When you dine at Ristorante Melisse in Amesbury, Massachusetts, you feel at home while enjoying an authentic Italian dining experience not to be forgotten. From the appetizer to dessert, you won't regret your choice. Bring your cravings and appetites. They promise you won't leave hungry or without leftovers for the next day. Takeout and catering are also available. Give them a call or visit them online for the menu, online ordering, and reservations. RistoranteMelisse.com. That's RistoranteMolise.com or call 978-388-4844. Ristorante Melisse, where you're treated like family.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141. With a commitment to excellence, Colizzi Memorials is dedicated to helping families capture the spirit of their loved ones by building beautiful, lasting tributes that will endure the test of time. Trust Colizzi Memorials to build a personalized tribute that would reflect your loved one's life forever. That's Colizzi Memorials, 217 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts. Telephone number 978-674-7035. 978-674-7035.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery tender Lazy Man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back. Eszter Vajda, host of You, Me, and Sicily. She's our guest, as she is every Friday, the first Friday of every month. What's the website for You, Me, and Sicily, Eszter?
Well, www.youmeandsicily.com. We've got a YouTube channel. We've got a Facebook channel that's pretty popular. But I want to tell you that every Sunday we have a video that we publish at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Sunday, whether we're sick, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, wherever, whether I just arrived to Sicily the day, we always have it on Sunday. And this Sunday will be, oops.
I hate when that happens.
I
You know,
hate when
don't you, Lou?
When your owl goes off, yeah, I gotta hate that.
So this Sunday, we have such a treat. We got invited to go to a pastry shop's kitchen.
Oh.
Where one of the most legendary pastry shops of Catania.
It's right outside of the airport, isn't it?
No.
Oh, there's one that we used to go to, and it was eye candy. Oh my God.
It's called Quaranta, and it is eye candy what's inside there for sure. They're known for their cakes and their pastries, and we got a behind the scenes look, and they showed us step by step how to make the famous cassata Sicilian cake, which is with layers and the ricotta.
Layers. Time consuming.
With the marzipan or sugar topping, and then they put those beautiful candied fruit decorations, and you don't even want to eat it because it's just so beautiful.
I know exactly.
These guys are artists, and we had the main chef and also one of the brothers. It's a family owned. It was started by Antonio Quaranta, and now the three brothers run it. And Lucia, the daughter of one of them, is now third generation, and they speak so passionately about baking, about sweets, about Sicilian history.
Tradition, yeah.
Tradition, because like, for instance, the cassata cake, Lou and Mike, it wasn't until about the period of when the Arabs were here in the 10th century that they brought sugarcane, that they brought the pistachios, they brought the use of cinnamon, of cloves, they brought the oranges and lemons and candied fruits. Now, obviously, during the Roman Greek times, they had some kind of sweets, but in Sicily, the period that really started this huge movement of sweets and pastries and cannoli and all that was during the Arab domination that started in the 10th century.
And everybody left a little something behind. The Arabs left something behind. Everybody left something, either spices, pistachio, and that's what makes Sicilian cooking so good. I mean, really.
The Arabs had one of the biggest impacts of all. We can talk about the Greeks, the Romans, the Normans also had the Arabs before the Normans. Then, of course, we had the French, the Austrian, and then the Spanish. But when you look at the very key ingredients, the use of sugarcane, the use of cinnamon, of cloves, of pistachio on everything, almonds on everything, not just on cakes, but on pizza, on pasta, pistachio cream pasta. If you never had it.
Oh,
I never had that.
Something to dream about. Let me tell you, it's very, very, very creamy.
Wow.
Very rich.
Eszter, Andy Parisi wants to say good morning. And,
good morning, Andy.
And Andy's on board with us almost every single week, and he's just one of our great loyal listeners that join us almost every week, which is outstanding. I did get a text from a friend of ours, Eszter, who has a question. Mark Leone, you remember Mark?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Mark is a member of the Sandalfio Society. He also makes a living out of distributing mushrooms.
That's right.
And he heard that there's a big mushroom festival in Sicily. Is there?
There is.
No kidding. That's a new one on me.
Puccini, Festa de Funghi. Of course, there's festival for I'm telling you right now, it's not a joke. There's a swordfish festival.
Oh, I know that. There's swordfish. Oh, Lou.
Yeah, really, huh?
I mean, I love a nice ribeye, but man, I had two swordfish dinners in Sicily, and I drool. I'm thinking about it now, and I'm getting hungry, which is not unusual. Which is not unusual for me.
Hey, listen! Look what I found. Can you guys see?
Yeah. What is that?
That is a statue of San Agatha.
Oh, okay. What's the story with Saint Agatha? I know nothing at all.
By the way, this is what her bust looks like when she's carried out from the church, and of course on bara. And then you've got hundreds of men and women holding the cord that's touching the bara, dressed in white, with a satchel and black shoes and black hat. It's very interesting.
Wow.
Fernanda was born to a rich family in Catania. And unlike other women in the 3rd century, she was very well educated. And she believed in helping the poor. She believed in helping others. And the senator at the time was Quintilius, and he was a Roman senator, and he was trying to force her to marry him. And of course, she resisted, and she stood strong against her religious belief in Jesus Christ. And she was one of the first, we're talking 200 years after Christ, she's one of the first female martyred. And so he captured her, he tortured her. It is said that he cut off her breasts, and they miraculously grew back. That's why the breast-shaped sweet. She's a patron saint of breast cancer and so forth. And then she escaped another time. This time, he dressed her in a red velvet dress, and he burned her on coal, and so she died. But the people of Catania, by now, the word has gotten out about her. She had made a big name for herself, helping the poor, and also resisting the senator and taking her riches and giving it to the poor. And so the people of Catania took her velvet dress, and a few decades after she died, there was a Mount Etna explosion. And it is said that the people of Catania, now desperate, they went to get her red velvet dress and placed it at the foothills of Mount Etna, and miraculously the lava stopped. So she's also the patron saint of natural disaster. She's patron saint of nurses and so forth. And so that's the story about her, that she became, when you think about the 3rd largest religious festival in the world, you've got 1 million people descending on Catania this weekend.
It's the 3rd largest in the world?
3rd largest religious festival in the world.
Wow.
Now you, of course, you're Lucy. We've all heard of St. Lucy. It's in the United States, and a lot of, you talk about St. Lucy, a lot of around there, but you barely hear about San Agatha, who is the first female to be martyred. She's also the biggest festival. It's one of the most important things that happens in the city of Catania during February.
Wow. Louis, you were talking about your grandparents.
Yeah.
In the village that they were in. What was it called?
Gesualdo. I believe it's.
And they had a big festival there also, right?
Yeah, it sounds a lot like the one you described in Boston, where they had a festival about basically going after the devil, and they I just laughed because they strapped this kid to a zip line and ran him across the.
Well, like I was telling.
And then I'm reading they'd been doing it for 100 years, and it's like, oh yeah, they dropped one once, but he landed in the bush. He was fine, and it's like.
Esther, earlier I was talking about New Orleans, and like I said, I enjoy the city of New Orleans. I really do. But in Aruba, they have a big carnival during the Lent period, leading up to the Lent period. And they have this life-size statue. I'm going to call it a statue, but it's made out of something different. And it's King Momo, and Momo, and he's the festival of the Carnival that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the last day of the Carnival, they turn around and they burn them. They burn an effigy. They burn the whole statue right down. And that signifies the end of that year's Carnival. But the spirit of Momo will be back next year to have a party again. And they send people come from all over the little islands all around, and they come with statues. I mean, they have a freaking ball. When I say a ball, I mean they're going crazy, and they don't wear much either, which is nice. I mean, it's
it's a party.
It's a party.
Yeah,
and the music, the band, the rhythm of the steel drum. Oh, Jesus. Mary and Joseph, I love it. I think it's great.
Eszter, can I talk to you about, let's go back to the cultures that have dominated Sicily over the time. You talked about the Arab run and things like that. And obviously the Romans are a different story. But when cultures came into Sicily, we all knew Sicily was conquered on a number of different occasions by a number of different cultures. Did that extend into southern Italy, or was it basically limited to the island?
No, it extended from, at one point, Naples down was the kingdom of two Sicilies. But before then, so let's start with the first, we'll call them conquerors, for lack of a better word, or settlers, conquerors, however you want to call them. They were the original people that lived in Sicily called the Sicans and the Sicils, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Then about 900 before Christ, so 900 years before Christ, the Elymian people, which came from modern day Turkey, went to the west coast of Sicily. So they were there for a good 200 years before the Greeks came in 734 before Christ. So the Greeks came to Sicily. They saw a beautiful island of sun, Sicily, island of the sun in Greek. They named it Sicily. They came because it is said that they ran out of space in Greece and they needed a new place to inhabit. Anyway, the Greeks put a lot of resources into Sicily, but it wasn't just Sicily. Even though there's more Greek ruins in Sicily than in Athens, the Greeks, the Magna Graecia as they're called, they had Calabria, Puglia, so they went up north. It's a very good question, Lou. Because when you look at the Greeks, at a certain point on the boot, they did stop, but they did conquer a lot of that area. The Greeks also had North Africa. The Roman Empire, as you know, you've heard the saying, the sun never sets on the Roman Empire. So they covered a huge chunk of land. The Arabs, on the other hand, they stuck with like Sardinia, which is another island off the coast, and then parts of Calabria, and they very much focused their attention on Sicily. They were here for about 200-300 years, a lot of infighting and so forth. And then the Normans that came from modern day France, they came down, kicked the Arabs out, but the Normans and that type of those families existed here, and they had Naples down. So they really conquered a huge chunk of the Italian peninsula, not just Sicily. But for the Normans, for instance, the first parliament in Europe was established in Palermo, so their headquarters was in Sicily.
So we tend to divide Sicily from Italy on a cultural basis, but we could really go from Naples down and give that a separate territory than Northern Italy, for example.
Oh, yes. No question. No question. Northern Italy's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Lake Como, Lake Missouri. Yeah. Lou, I know.
But those people speak French. They speak German.
Yeah.
In fact, they're duolingual, Italian and French, Italian and German.
Right.
The Swiss, they have signs there in German up there in those northern Italian places.
Yeah.
Down.
Absolutely. Listen, I need to take a break, Eszter. You can stay with us, right, for the next segment? Huh?
With pleasure.
With pleasure and a smile. Lou, why don't you take us out, and we'll be right back, everybody. Nancy Patera DeMarco says good morning, Eszter.
Ciao, this is Eszter of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and can never agree where to go. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with the great Italian cuisine, Capri's Seaside Italian Kitchen and Pizzeria. Me? I love the elegant romantic vibes Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu, with prices that make it the place you want to visit each and every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of a cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Concert Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all of these great places, and they treat everyone like they are Mike Lamazzo. Best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all this fun is right at your fingertips. You can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Sisters and co-owners Antoinetta and Elisa brought their family authentic Italian recipes from Molise, Italy, and a warm and welcoming dining experience to its customers at Ristorante Molise. The combination of their meals made from natural, homemade, fresh ingredients, and your time with family and friends together at dinner time is unmatched. Located in Market Square in the heart of Amesbury, they're open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday from 3 to 9 p.m. and are available for private parties during off hours. For reservations, call them at 978-388-4844. That's 978-388-4844.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141. With a commitment to excellence, Colizzi Memorials is dedicated to helping families capture the spirit of their loved ones by building beautiful, lasting tributes that will endure the test of time. Trust Colizzi Memorials to build a personalized tribute that would reflect your loved one's life forever. That's Colizzi Memorials, 217 Merrimack Street, Methuen, Massachusetts. Telephone number 978-674-7035. 978-674-7035.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler.
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
he is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
And we are back with Eszter Vajda. Eszter, the population in Sicily, actually it's most of Italy, is the second highest elderly population in the world next to Japan. And, you know, France and Sicily, or Italy, may I say, is about the same in population. Yet France has 66% more births. I don't know how that bodes well for the country and what they can do to change that, to flip it around, whether or not some of the people that are coming across the Italian borders are going to stay in Sicily and help generate income. How would you answer a question like that? What can the Italian government do?
Multifaceted question, all wrapped up in one. So I'm going to try and unfold that a little bit. So first of all, in Sicily, the population is consistently decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
And the elderly population, I just saw a percentage, I can't remember the exact, but the percentage of the elderly are increasing at a very fast rate in Sicily. I can't speak for the rest of Italy, but I know that to be a fact here in Sicily. So there's a few things happening. One of them is that we have a lot of centennials. As healthcare and so forth gets improved, we have in a place called Castellammare del Golfo in the province of Trapani, has in Sicily the largest number of centennials. And there's and the largest number of centennials in all of Italy, concentrated in that area. And of course, you look at lifestyle and you can definitely see why. You know, food, family, clean living, and so forth. You also have a tremendous amount of people that critical, intellectual, young, who are leaving Sicily because there's no jobs. It's a humongous problem.
Big problem.
Now, the government has done several things to try to entice them, do startups and so forth. One of the goals of our nonprofit, we have a nonprofit, it's called the Sicilian Project, and one of our goals is to educate Sicilians free of charge to them. English is a second language because the government, in its wisdom, open quote,
Sarcastic.
decreased the number of hours of English classes. And, English is still the language of trade, the language of business. Of course, there's other languages that are gaining importance, but you can see that English is still one of the universal languages of business. And so one of the things that we do is that we educate kids free. We have a camp going on right now. Tomorrow, in fact, I'm going to be with 30 children, free of charge for them, teaching English as a second language. So there's a multi-level thing. So there's the young people leaving, the elderly, it's their lifestyle, whatever you want to attribute to. There's a lot of centennials, and that population is increasing. You're absolutely correct.
That's a serious problem. That's a serious problem.
And you have young kids who are having less children. A lot of it has to do with, again, back to the economy and being able to afford it and so forth. And to be quite honest with you, like a lot of people who are not married, they still live at home with their parents. It's not unusual for them to live at home with their family and have a multi-generational. Now that in of itself is not a bad thing. No. You have 3 generations living under one household, which happened over, to many of the immigrants that went to the United States of America.
Right.
And that way, even Alfred talks about remembering his grandma, his grandpa. Those are important figures in a person's life.
No question. Yeah.
And so you could see the good and bad in both of that. The grandparents obviously are staying younger, having a younger person around, and the younger person is gaining so much wisdom from the older person. But in terms of the government doing something very focused on this, I'm not aware of anything that they're doing.
Ireland went through the same situation where they were losing that 22 to 35 age group that were leaving. And the government turned around and subsidized businesses to come to Ireland at a significantly reduced rate of taxation. And it worked. Let me tell you, it worked hugely. And I think Italy, Sicily, it has to maybe do something. You got to, the average birth rate is 1.2 per couple. That's what, it used to be four kids per family not too long ago. Now it's down below 2.
Well, so, Ireland had neighbors that it could poach businesses from, or it could bring business over or develop business from. Sicily, what's the upside for Sicily? What's the route for Sicily? Because what's the industrial economic potential in Sicily?
Well, I think today the world is getting smaller and smaller. And you could ship product any way you want very, very quickly. To me, is trying to keep that age group in place. So I think if you're producing widgets, I think trying to get them to America doesn't really possess today that kind of a problem. Just my thought. What do you think, Eszter?
I'm just looking up this statistic that I was looking for, and how much.
Why don't you save it for next time we chat?
I'll save it for next time. Certainly, industries can do a better job. Renewable energy is a big thing. Semiconductors, making semiconductors, as we know, we don't want to rely all on Taiwan and other countries for our semiconductor chips and so forth. And so there are little small boom areas that they could do a better job in terms of improving it, for sure. The big thing here has been the startups.
Yeah.
And they're really encouraging kids, college graduates, like in Catania, University of Catania, there's a huge startup program that they're encouraging graduates to stay here and start industry. And in fact, we've met a couple of guys that have started something the past few years and have had a significant amount of success. And again, the goal was to keep them here. So it is happening. It's probably not happening at the rate that we'd like, but certainly the population of Sicily is getting older, unfortunately, and it's decreasing. I mean, you think about it, less than 5 million people live here.
That's unbelievable.
That's decreased by significant. Obviously, we had the big migration turn of the century. You had the wars. You had several key times that Sicilians went to United States, went to Canada, went to Australia, went to Brazil, and some of them returned, Mike.
Yeah.
Some of them returned.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Some of them return and they try to, build a life. Our good friend Bernie Sapienza, he came back with his family twice, and his father just couldn't get a job, and they kept having to go back to the United States. As much as his mother hated it, hated the United States, she always wanted to come back here to Sicily. So it's a very unfortunate pull, right? Because they're not leaving because they want to go.
No, I know.
They have to go.
You got to have incentives. Listen, we're up against the clock. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's a pleasure always to have you on board, and we'll be listening to your next show podcast. And something, I enjoy watching it. I really do, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about Sicily. But anyway, everybody have
great questions as always. I thoroughly enjoy every discussion that we have. So thank you.
Oh, shucks. Hey, I hope you tune in next week. The biggest problem we're having right now, believe it or not, is fraud. And one significant portion of fraud is elder fraud. Elders are being taken advantage of. We're going to talk about that on next week's show, so I hope you tune in. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy.
Arrivederci.